Hey everyone, it's Emma, and I know I haven't been on YouTube in a while, and I'm sorry, I'm really bad at this YouTube thing. So I am here in Canada on kind of a cold winter morning, and I thought I would upload. So here I am, and this morning I got back to a lot of emails that I haven't been able to get back to because of the holidays, and I'm gonna try and do a blog post this week. And I thought I'd just do a video today. So this one's I'm gonna try and be really quick, just because it takes forever to upload like an 8 or 9 minute video, and I want it to be kind of quick and get this up and off to you guys. So what I'm gonna do today is mash a whole bunch of themes that I get asked a lot about into one, maybe 4 or 5 minute video. I'm gonna try. So this is kind of the quick tips for Ross, and I know I kind of did quick tips for Dean's List, so this is gonna be like Ross as a whole of what I wish I knew before coming down to the island. So the first one is what to bring. Really things that I never thought I should have had and I wish I'd had more of. So heavier clothing. People don't really tell you that the classrooms are actually really cold. I mean, when you go from like 32 degrees Celsius, sorry guys, I'm Canadian, I don't know Fahrenheit, into like a cold building and you want to study there for a couple hours, you definitely need some heavier clothing for sure. I loved getting a little blanket, like a little fleece kind of blanket, not huge, but just something to kind of put over your legs or wrap around. A lot of people study in hoodies. Yeah, just heavier clothing, and I know you never think that kind of going to the Caribbean, but I wish I had more like sweatpants and kind of comfy pants. And big headphones. I loved studying in big headphones, kind of like the noise canceling. So if you have like the Bose, I have Audio Technica, which are absolutely amazing. They're actually Steve's, but I stole them and have been using them ever since. I love them. They don't really have really good headphones on the island. So I would definitely get your own and definitely invest in those, because I feel like if you study in coffee shops or kind of like something in the back as backroom noise, I would definitely get kind of big chunky headphones that noise cancel everything, which they have been a lifesaver. And really good earplugs. I know you might not think about it, but earplugs are really hard to find on the island. They're really cheap, kind of like the orange ones that you get that are just standard. I'm like a big headphone and earplugs person, so make sure that you get some earplugs that are really good and they're comfortable for you. Also, adapters. This is what I didn't know, is that almost all of the outlets, if you live off of campus or like a European style outlet, they're not American or like North American. So just make sure that you guys bring a lot of adapters. You can buy adapters on island, but I'm trying to figure out what kind of, they're like the big three. I don't know if you can see that. It's like, this is what they look like. I should have probably Googled this before I did the video, but whatever. So that's what they look like right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. So I think they're European outlets, but what happened is that they kill chargers. And I had a couple like bust because I plugged it in and it was the wrong adapter and stuff like that. So make sure that you guys probably can get adapters on island, but I would suggest bringing a couple of chargers. So if you have a charger for your phone, a charger for your tablet, and kind of have those too, maybe buy an extra one. I think they're like not that much at Best Buy or anything like that. So adapters, yeah, they kind of suck because you're so used to American and you come down, you're like, what, I have to buy a transformer? And there are transformers on island that you would not want to like bust your hair dryer or anything like that. So housing, this I get asked all the time. I wanted to do a housing tour for you guys, but it just was getting too busy, and it was like a week before I had to leave the island, and I had to get like a bunch of stuff done and close my bank account and get all that done. So housing, my suggestion is live close to campus. There are some that are like a good 20-minute drive or like a good like 10-15 minute walking distance. I would make sure to be close to campus. There's tons that are 5 to 10 minute walk. My very first semester I lived, I can't remember the name of it, but it was on Banana Trail. Yes, it's called Banana Trail. And it was a 5-minute walk to campus, and it was amazing. So in the last couple semesters, I lived like literally 2 seconds from campus. It was, you guys, if you saw my campus tour walk, I literally walked in my apartment and campus was right there. You can live on campus. It's called Ross Housing. They're more like dorms. I know a lot of students that actually lived on campus for the first couple semesters. The great thing about that is you're right there. You're literally on campus. Great security. And everything's there. The negative with that is that you don't have your own kitchen. You kind of have a shared like living space and shared kitchen space, but you have your own rooms. And the rooms are very, very simple, like a bed, dresser, study space if you want. And that's pretty much it, in a bath and shower. So for off campus, I always say for people who are like, what's your top housing apartments? And that's hard because I don't know what you guys want. And what I have looked at is making sure that it's close in proximity, which I've already talked about, making sure there is a generator because the power does go out. And my last couple of semesters we lived in an apartment that didn't have a generator, so I sometimes would be studying by candlelight. Pretty nice difference for like the bright lights in the classroom, but there have been times where our water would go out and our lights would go out, so make sure that you have book one that does have a backup generator, and that should be on the Ross Housing portal showing that there is a generator or not. And making sure that it's in a safe, this is kind of hard, making sure that it's in a safe environment. Ross does a really good job of having the security up and running all the time. There's a couple trucks that always do like rounds and making sure that everything's good to go at all hours of the night and all hours of the day. They always send out emails if it's like, not like it's kind of like a Caravana. It's kind of like their big festival. I know in Toronto it's Caravana, but, and they always kind of send alerts like, you know what, this is kind of like a parade day or like a big festival in Roseau, which is an hour away. Just make sure, kind of keep an eye out because that's kind of like when theft happens or there's more people around Ross. I'm not trying to scare you guys, but it is the reality of studying at Ross and being in Dominica. It's not like North America. So making sure that you guys are staying true to the Ross Housing portal. I probably wouldn't try and book something off of that portal because they're Ross approved and they're usually really good and they're close to campus and has all those amenities that I talked about. So kind of doing it yourself. I know a couple people that did it and kind of ended up not liking the place or having pictures showing that it didn't really look like that, and that's not always good. So stick to the Ross Housing portal if you can. Banking, I know I'm going fast guys, but I really don't want this to be super long just because I have to study and I'm not trying to rush it. I really want to get like all of these different themes into like one video as short as possible. So for banking, there's 2 banks on the island. There's the NBD, or I should say there's 2 banks near Ross, which is the National Bank of Dominica. And then there's a little tiny Scotiabank ATM, which it was near the Ross campus, but now I've been told that it's out. It's not working anymore. But there is Scotiabank in Roseau, which is an hour away. My biggest advice is open an account with NBD. That's what I did. And just have all of your money kind of in EC, because when you use your card at the ATMs, there's like 3 ATMs on campus, which is really convenient. You can use your Canadian or American credit card or debit card, and that's fine, but it charges you every single time that you use it. And for me, I have CIBC as a Canadian, and it charged me a lot. So I would always make sure that I would transfer, I think $1,000 Canadian was my limit. So I just go to the bank, tell them I want $1,000 off my CIBC and put it into my NBD account. And I think it ended up being like 2,100 EC, which is Eastern Caribbean, but that's their currency. And I would do that every single time I needed more EC. And it honestly ended up being a lot cheaper. And my biggest advice is that lineup is massive the first week with orientation and the big classroom intake coming in. So what I would do, if you guys go a little bit earlier than your suggested time to get there, let's say that classes start September 7th and you want to get there a little bit early, I would go like September 3rd and go to the bank. Like go to the bank the very first thing, because that could be like a 3 or 4 hour wait if you guys want a bank card within the first couple weeks. 100% do that. That's the one thing I wish I did, because I stood in line for a long time. So you're welcome. And for Canadians only, this is like a disclaimer for Canadians, I had the worst trouble with the bank. That's like the first time where I actually argued really bad, because they would not help me at all. Because I wish I had my CIBC with me. My CIBC card didn't have a name on the front because all of our Visa debits don't. So they wouldn't take my card. My parents were down for Whitecoat and I brought my parents in with me because they were giving me such a hard time with it. And I'm like, guys, it's me, it's Emma, I've used this card before. And what I didn't know at the time is when they swipe the card at the National Bank of Dominica on campus, they can, all my information pops up. So I said, swipe it, and if it's not me, then arrest me. But I knew it was my card because it's what I got from the bank before I left. So oh my gosh, it was such a cluster F word, because I was so mad. That was the first time on campus where I actually like had to leave and cry because they were so rude to me. Like the bank ladies, guys, I warn you, they do not take any heat from anyone. And what I realized with Dominicans is that if you try and prove to them that your way is better or is the more right way and it's the more just way, it just gets worse. And so what I had to do was just take a deep breath and be like, okay, all right, I'll do it your way, and that's fine. So I'd have a FedEx card with my name on it, and I had it held at the border at Roseau, and oh my gosh, it was not okay. And there's a couple other Canadians that had the same problem with CIBC because we don't have our actual name on the front of it. There is a signature on the back and they could look it up, and I've been on the phone with CIBC letting them know that it is my card, but just to save all that hassle, it really stressed me out the first couple weeks, is put your name on the card if you can, and all you have to do is just suggest it with CIBC and they'll print you a new one. But getting it to Dominica was super hard. Okay, that's banking. So pretty much go the first week if you can. If you can go a couple days before your start date, I would 100% go to the bank first and open a bank account there. It gets way too expensive with using your card at the ATMs the whole time. And last thing, really quick, I'm probably over the 5 minutes right now, is Pathoma, first aid, highlighters, Sharpie pens. I love these. Sticky notes. Those are my things that like are a must on the island, and you don't need to necessarily get them right away. Maybe the pens and the sticky notes, and the highlighters. But Pathoma for sure, I would say as early as second semester. And then first aid, I didn't actually end up using first aid until fourth semester. I was a little late on that. I kind of wish I did it a little bit earlier. So I would even say get through first and second semester with all Ross if you can. And the external resources that you want, but I wouldn't start using first aid until third or fourth. Honestly, I wouldn't. There's some people that like cling to their first aid book the first day of class. You really don't need it. You really don't. But get used to it in like third and fourth, maybe over that break. That's when I wish I started looking at it, just to kind of get a feel of like how the layouts are kind of laid out, obviously, and just kind of know what's in there, where things are kind of placed, and the images. And I would definitely kind of do that as early as third semester. And the Sharpie pens are really hard to find. They don't have them on island, obviously, and these are amazing. They don't bleed through first aid. They don't bleed through any paper, just 8x11s. I love them. I went through a couple packs of them, actually. And sticky notes. I don't have any here, but just like little tiny sticky notes. You can get them on island, but they're crazy expensive, and I love writing things down. As you can tell from my last video, I love having a to-do list, so having sticky notes everywhere really helped me. And highlighters, because they're not that good on island, so get really good highlighters. Pretty much just go to Staples or like home, or I don't know what you guys have in the States or anywhere in the world, but just go to like a stationery place and load up on a whole bunch of stationery, because it will definitely save you, and you don't need to have anything sent down to the island because it does take time. Okay, I think that's it. Again, if you guys have any questions at all, just email me, and please give me like a couple days to respond. I know a couple of people, excuse me, wrote me an email. I did see it, and then wrote me on Instagram if I saw the email. Yes, I did see the email, and I'm sorry, but it's a lot, and I will make sure to get back to you guys as fast as I can. And I know people are kind of starting in the January intake and are emailing me a lot and kind of what I need to bring down. So I hope this little kind of quick tip raw stuff helped, and I'll try and get a video up again within the next couple weeks. And that's pretty much it. So bye guys.